Hello and welcome back to Record of the Year. I'm your host Ryan Lark, and this is a podcast all about where I take whatever album I'm obsessed with that week and just dive into everything about it and rant about it because frankly, none of my friends want to listen to me listen to it. So I made a podcast because apparently that's what you do with your feelings and your opinions in the 21st century. This week kicks off a very exciting thing for me all month long. If you didn't know, I live in Lexington, Kentucky. There's a plethora of fantastic local musicians that I wanted to uplift, so I'm using the Kentucky Derby as an excuse to dedicate the whole month to local Kentucky artists. And I'm very excited about the first one. This week, I am featuring Beth Burden. She's a local acoustic singer in Kentucky, and her album, I think her only album so far, RotE, came out in 2017. A little bit about her. She was a part of the acoustic duo Mother Jane for 14 years. They themselves released 5 albums. This is her first solo album. The acoustic duo Mother Jane opened for Mary Chapin Carpenter, if you know her. She also writes jingles for advertisement companies, and she has been deemed as the best acoustic singer in the bluegrass, which is high praise for the bluegrass Kentucky. She's absolutely fantastic. I've seen her live. I don't know if she headlined Pride, but she's played Pride several times, and she always is a huge smash hit. She's fantastic. Got these wonderful vocals. A little bit about the album. So, like I said, this is her debut solo album. It came out in 2017. It's obviously heavily acoustic. That's her style, with a lot of bluesy R&B and even a little sometimes even a little like country twang in there as well. Really interesting. It's got 10 tracks, 38 minutes long in total, and she's written every single track on the album. Now, this is on Spotify, so if you don't have it, which I assume you probably wouldn't, most of you probably haven't even heard of it before, I'm going to go ahead and encourage you to listen to the album beforehand, or like I always do, go ahead and listen track by track with me so you can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about. And honestly, just hear Beth Burden. She's incredible. I think you guys are really going to like her. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the album. Insert guitar transition noise here. Oh, hello. Now, when I say the words waves, heavy, boat, ship, what word comes to mind? That's right, it's anchor. And what do all those have to do with anchor? Well, absolutely nothing. But what does have to do with anchor is podcast, free, creation. Those are the words that come to mind when I think about an Anchor, because Anchor is a free app that lets you download and start your own podcast if you ever want to. It's the easiest way to make a podcast, and I'll explain. There's easy creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor then will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other site you want. You can then make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, which is great for me because I have no listeners. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. That's right. No need to go get an editing software, nothing like that. It's all in one place. It's perfect, easy to use. So go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. See you there. Insert guitar transition here. So the first track on the album is called Spin Me, obviously written by Beth Burden. And it is all about how life kind of tries to beat you down sometimes, kind of the influences in life that try to change you, which is where the phrase dizzy comes from in the song, like kind of confusing you about what's going on. But you got to stay true to yourself, which is always a fun and powerful message, an important message. This is such a cool song. Honestly, probably my favorite on the whole album, and it's the first one, which is great. She's got such cool high notes. When she goes up into that register, she uses it just enough for effect without being too much, and uses it so seldomly that you're like, oh wow, that was really cool. Where it kind of leaves you wanting more almost, which is always better than the alternative. Such a good song. That first line, I think the lyrics in this song are just so cool. That first line, try to go with the flow, but the tide keeps on pulling me down. Like that's just such a cool phrase. I don't know. I just love it. And it's very smart. Like obviously a lot of like water, ocean, lake, whatever imagery in this song, but it's just so cool. And I love this song. And it's such a smash hit. Kudos, kudos, kudos. So as far as songwriting goes, I mean, the melody is just so groovy and feel good. It's got like this bluesy, groovy feel to it. But I just really like, and obviously the lyrics are fantastic in my opinion. So for songwriting, I'm gonna have to give it a 9 out of 10, and for recording, I think she does such a good job. I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. The second track on the album is called "Breakout." And it's a song all about kind of breaking out of a bad mood or feeling your situation and choosing to be happy. It's got such cool background vocals. I don't know. I tried looking into it and I couldn't find who the background vocals are. Maybe it's her overlaying her own vocals on it for the harmonies, but it really adds the perfect amount of emphasis again. It's not overdone. It's in very key moments, not throughout the entire thing, not throughout the entire chorus even. It's just so smartly done, very tastefully done, to add to that. And I don't know, yeah, I just really like it. It's got a really cool, she uses some like techno effects, towards the bridge of the song. And it's interesting. The first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, I don't know if this techno like weird effect like fits in this song, but I think it does. Like after listening to it more, I'm like, oh no, that's kind of a cool thing to this song. Gives it a nice kind of like weird feel to it. That I think makes sense with the message. I don't know how else to articulate that, but I just think it adds to the message of the song of like trying to break out of a feeling, because it's kind of that like woozy, hazy like effect, and then you're like breaking out of that almost when she goes back to the chorus, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's just like a feel good song, honestly. It's fun, just like groove into it. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like. I think the melody's fun. I don't think it's like anything like crazy different that's never been done before, but I don't think you have to have that. I think it's done very effectively. I think it's really nice. I like the message. I like the lyrics. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like it. For songwriting, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7, and for recording, I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. The third track on the album is called "It's True," and it's kind of about needing the love and support of a lover to get through a tough time. And this is just such a cool song. I mean, you can really tell she likes this song and really feels this song when she's singing it. I don't know. It's just, she's got such cool vocals. Like, her vocals on this song are like, it's not like she's belting a bunch. It's just like the stylings on it. She puts a lot of stylings on it. It's so cool. And you can really hear what she's able to do technically on the song, which I love. I really, really love it. The melody's really cool, like kind of like the mixing up like the rhythms in the melody is just like very cool. I don't know. I really like this song too. This is probably my second favorite song on the album, honestly. Kind of front loading the album, I think, a little bit, but I really like it. I think it really works and it makes sense. The message is great. The vocals are incredible. The writing is spectacular, in my opinion. I can't say enough good things about it. And you're just having fun listening to it because you can tell she's having a really good time listening, like singing it. It's just a lot of fun. So for songwriting, I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8.5, and for recording, I'm going to give it a 9. The fourth track is called "Don't Forget," and this song is all about, it's like a ballad about passing on to something greater after death. Again, it's got great effective use of background vocals, and somehow they have a banjo in it that fits and makes sense. Like when you think of a ballad, you don't really think of banjo playing, but at least I don't. I don't know, maybe you do. But it really works. It's a very interesting flavor that makes it more personal, I think, which is weird, but I think it's definitely more personal using that, at least for a Kentucky artist, um, which I don't know if that's fair to say, but I think it works maybe because it's a Kentucky artist and it's more true to the roots of the song and the singer. I do wish she exaggerated the dynamics of this song a little bit more. I think with a ballad, you can kind of get bored easily, and she does keep it interesting, but I think it really would have added something extra if there was a lot more like quieter moments and then a lot louder loud moments. I don't know. I think dynamics when a song gets recorded are sometimes forgotten about, and I don't know if she necessarily forgot about it, but uh, I think dynamics could have made this song from good to great, in my opinion. I do love the lyrics though. I think the lyrics are fantastic, and she sounds really good on it, truly. So I can't complain too much. But as far as songwriting goes, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7, and then for recording, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. The fifth track on the album is called Worthy, the title track, and it's all about questioning yourself to be worthy of someone despite them not being the best to you and maybe not being the best for you, and kind of questioning if you know what's best for yourself. I think she sounds really good on this song, but what is really special about this is kind of the juxtaposition of a steel guitar over an acoustic guitar, which is in the background. And at first, I really wasn't sure how I felt about it. I was like, oh, this is kind of a weird thing, like, because in my mind, the steel guitar and the acoustic guitar kind of don't meld together. The sounds just don't go together in my head for some reason. But after listening to it a few times, and maybe I'm extrapolating this way too far, and this is like reading way too much in it, which is entirely possible. It's in my mind a call and response, not with acoustic, but with her vocals. Because every time Beth sings like "Am I Worthy?" or like after the chorus, the steel guitar kind of comes in and responds to it in a way. And in my mind, it's like, oh, the two voices in her head fighting with herself or with themselves. And it's like Beth saying like, "Oh, am I worthy?" And the steel guitar is responding either "Yes, you are," "No, you aren't." Obviously, there's no lyrics to a steel guitar, so you don't know the response. But it's just interesting. And again, maybe I'm extrapolating that too far, but I really like it, and I think it's very interesting. But yeah, as far as songwriting goes, I'm gonna give it a 7, and for recording, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. The sixth track on the album is called Everything's Alright, and it's kind of about choosing to be happy, again, choosing to be happy, like Breakout was, and feeling alright despite the bad things in your life. Honestly, I love the first half of the song. I think it's great. I love the lyrics. I love the message. I think it's a simple feel good song. And then you get to the second half of the song, and it goes downhill for me. And I honestly ended up really not liking it. It just got so repetitive, and I hate when a song like repeats the same lyrics over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Um, and they just like add like different sounds to it or something, or even sometimes not. I don't know. It just, I just didn't like it. It really spoiled it for me, unfortunately. I mean, it's 4.5 minutes long when it really should be like 2.5. There really doesn't need to be any longer than that. It just goes into this weird group singing thing. I don't know. It just was not for me. But I really like the melody and the chorus, and the lyrics are interesting. I just think it got a little too carried away. So this was missed the mark for me, Beth. I'm sorry, but other than that, I really like a lot of it. But yeah, so as far as songwriting, I'm gonna have to give it a 4. Honestly, that second half really got me. And for recording, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because I think she does sound good. Actually, that's not fair because the songwriting is really what I disliked here. So for recording, she sounded good. Although the background vocals I didn't love either. I'll give it a 5.5. The seventh track on the album is called Glow, and it's a song about wanting to be around someone that you're really crazy about and you're just like infatuated with them. It's kind of back to that bluesy feel. It's got a really cool, honestly, to my untrained ear, I can't tell if it's like a keys synth or guitar, like, which is pretty bad, but like, it's cool either way. I really like it. It's really fun. It adds a cool texture to it. Really interesting song, and she's kind of got this like again like call and response background vocal with herself. I think it is. It sounds like herself, which if you've listened to other episodes, like I don't usually love the weird like effect of someone singing over themselves. Like it's just confusing to the mind and like I don't know. When I'm listening to a song, I don't want to think, oh, this is a recording. I want to think this is like a performance, which I get not everyone wants, but it's me. And I don't know. I don't like songs that I know are can't be repeated in real life. Um, it just takes something away from me. But I do like it. It's a really cool song. It's got a really cool feel. It's really groovy feel. I think the lyrics are a little simple, but no shade, like it's fine. Um, Totally fine to be simple, but it's effective, so it really works and it's fun. It's interesting to listen to. Um, I don't have to overcomplicate it. So yeah, as far as songwriting goes, I think the melody's cool. I think it could get a little repetitive or boring after a while, after a few listens. So I'm not sure how I feel about that because it is a little predictable, which is like okay, it's a song, like of course it's predictable, but I don't know. I think there's like she it's a talent to be able to make a song continuously interesting and it's not even that long. It's only 3 minutes long, and I don't know. I feel like it gets a little repetitive. I don't know how I feel about this. I thought I liked the song. Now I'm second guessing myself. I don't know what's going on. Um, I don't know. I guess I do like it overall. Again, I think that's my only reservation is the simplicity of it and the lack of changing it up. Um, yeah, her vocally, it's pretty much the same throughout. She does a few like interesting like stylistic things that change it up a little bit, but I guess really the instrumentals here are the changing things that keep it interesting, which is fun and different. But I think if she added some other vocal, I don't know, styling, something, I don't know, something to lift it up a little higher in the bridge or a little bit over halfway through the song, it could have lifted it up a little bit more for me. So as far as songwriting goes, I think the songwriting is great. I'm gonna give it a 7.5, and for recording, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. The eighth track on the album is called Parole, and it's a very uniquely messaged song about the freedom you feel after getting out on parole after prison, after serving time in prison. Um, I don't think I've ever heard a sincere song about getting out of prison, um, which is crazy. And I think it's very interesting that she wrote a song about it because I can imagine, I've never had the personal experience, but I can imagine that's a very uh, strong emotion that you feel right then. It's a very important moment in life for that person. So, uh, yeah, I'm kudos to her for writing a song about it. It's a very stripped down song. It's just like I think maybe bongos, guitar, and her vocals, um, and it's just a very personal song. I don't know anything about her experience with this, if she's even had an experience with this, if she's just writing it from someone else's perspective. But I think it's a very interesting song and speaks to something that not a lot of people have gone through, but enough have to make it worth writing about. And obviously, it's worth writing about because if it is her experience, I don't know. I just really think it's interesting and unique, and I really like it. Um, the melody is again simple but very good. I think she does it very well, and it's kind of got a somber feel about it, even though it's about freedom. But uh, it really works and makes sense because of the circumstances. So I don't know. I just really like it, and I think her projection of the song um, fits the mood and makes it changes the feel of the song, which gives it a very interesting. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like she could have sang it in a way that's like, "Oh, I'm out," but she sang it like, "I'm out," but it's like an exhausted feel, uh, and like a hesitant feel, because I guess you don't know what's coming next. I would imagine. So I don't know. So for songwriting itself, I think the lyrics are interesting. I think the melody's good. Um, I'm gonna have to give it a 7.5, and for recording, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 as well. The ninth track on the album is called Sleep, and it's a very beautiful ballad about someone wanting to take a moment to just relax, i.e., sleep, because they're constantly worried about everything that's out of their control. It's obviously, a very relatable message because I feel like everyone has either been in a situation or knows someone who's a worrier about things that they can't change and they can't control. And it's the message and lyrics here are so beautiful because it's you can tell they really care about that person. They see them not necessarily spiraling, but like getting themselves worked up and like not taking care of themselves how they should, and it's just very personal. You can tell it's a very intimate personal song for her. At least that's how it feels. Again, it's very stripped down, which lends itself to the intimacy of it. It's just her and a piano, whether that's her playing or not, I don't know. Um, but it's just very beautiful, and her vocals sound incredible here. Um, it's very soft and personal. Like this is the kind of song you could imagine hearing at like a piano bar. Like I don't know, like a Wednesday night, which is not supposed to be like shady. It's just like you can tell it's just very personal and like it's not a song for a rowdy crowd. It's like a very somber, serious, personal song, which is very beautiful, and I really love this song. It's um, again one of my favorites. Not, although I've already said that about like two other songs, but I really like it, and it sounds so good for her, and it's so perfect for her, and something different that we hadn't heard previously on the album. So I really like it. I'm gonna give it for songwriting. Ooh, I'm gonna give it a 9, and for recording, I'm gonna give it an 8.5. The 10th and last track on the album is called Past Has Passed. And this is a song about kind of leaving your old life behind and moving on from something, whether that's literally or metaphorically. It's definitely starts out with a bit of a folky feel. Kind of has that guitar and the background vocals in it, where it gives you just like have that like country folky feel to it. Although it goes on to more like a almost like an Americana feel in the middle of the song. Um, Kind of like melds away into that. It's a little weird with like the piano and stuff. Like just gives it a different vibe entirely. But gosh, I don't love this song. I think it's the background vocals is what I feared would happen in the previous songs with background vocals, where it is, in my opinion, a bit overdone. It's just like constant background vocals in sync with her vocals, and I don't love that. It's just time and place. Like you gotta back off a little and like come in where it's needed, in my opinion. Um, and I didn't love it. I think it went on a little too long. It's almost 5 minutes long, which is a crazy length for a song unless it's like spectacular, in my opinion. Again, it's not even a ballad. It's just repetitive, like repeating that phrase "past is past" in a not different way where you've already heard it a million times. And I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just was very disappointed the album ended like this. I think the message is very important and obviously works with the album as a whole, but I don't necessarily know if the song itself works, especially as the last track. I wish she had done something different with it, whether it's trimming it, changing of the background vocals. I also wish she kind of like messed with the rhythm of the melody a little bit of her vocals a little bit. I think it's very drawn out lyrics constantly in the song, and I think that can get a little boring after a while. Again, time and place, uh, but I don't know. I just didn't love it, and I was a bit disappointed as the last track on the album. But anyway, just to move on from that, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 for songwriting, and for recording, I'm gonna give it a 5.5 as well. All right, let's look at the album overall as a cohesive unit. Um, I looking at the track listing first. I'm not sure what story this is telling, and I don't know if there is a story. I think all of the tracks on the album fit with the theme of quote worthy, whether that's the experience or feeling of um, being worthy or questioning whether you're worthy. They all fit with that. It makes sense. There's no weird tracks that like for some reason wouldn't fit into that theme. But as far as a story here, I'm not getting much. You obviously have songs that kind of send the same message with Breakout and everything. It's all right. Um, I would have liked a better story here. Also, something interesting that I noticed is that she doesn't use vibrato, like to my ear at all, which I'm not sure why. I think it's an interesting choice. I think a lot of the time vibrato is overused and not used effectively because every note it has vibrato on it, but it's kind of the opposite here where there's none ever, and it works on some tracks where it's like you want the note to be smooth, but adding that effect is interesting and it gives it a little bit more flavor. And I think on some of these tracks where I felt like it was losing me a little bit, like Past Has Passed, like I don't know what were the other tracks I wasn't crazy about. Uh, Everything's all right. I just I don't know. I just think that it could have maybe added something different. So maybe she'll do that in the future. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just didn't love it. I thought it could have been something that she could have added differently. Maybe in the next album. Fingers crossed. I don't know. But I just noticed that and thought it was like a weird thing. But I don't know. As an overall concept, I like it. I wish again. I think it's a missed opportunity when an artist doesn't create a story with the album. And maybe there is, and I'm just not seeing it here. So feel free to let me know. But I just don't think there is one. So overall, as a cohesive unit, I think because there is a common thread here, I can't knock it down too much, but no story. So I'm gonna have to give it. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 6. Um, I think the track placement here also could have been better. I like Spin Me starting out. I think that's a good way to start out. Um, Starting out without that message about how life kind of beats you down, but you have to stay true to who you are. And I like the message of ending with Past is Past, but I just don't love the song. I almost would have rather had Sleepy the last track, and then you could have put that even right before it. I don't know. But yeah, I think Worthy, maybe to kind of backpedal, like she could have put Worthy, like gone for like a before and after story for Worthy. Like before Worthy, you could have done all the songs like Questioning and like stuff like Parole. Go before that, where you're like kind of getting out on a new life, and then go into Worthy, where you are questioning whether you're worthy, and then after that, you have like Everything's All Right, Breakout, Glow, stuff like that, where you're kind of like getting back into life and like enjoying the life's experiences, and finding out you are worthy. So maybe that would have been an interesting story to tell with the album, but I don't know. That's just a top off my head. Off the top of my head, not top off my head. But yeah, I don't know. So like I said, I'm going to give it a 6 for overall cohesiveness. And that means, so averaging out all of the songwriting scores, it comes to 7.2. For recording, it comes out to 7.25. And totaling all those up comes to 20.45, which unfortunately does not beat out Crimes of Passion by Pat Benatar. Not that I expected it to, but I mean, that's like a legendary album. But I think she did really well, and I really enjoy this album. I love this album, actually. I'm adding it to my rotation for sure. I encourage you all to go back and listen to the album again now that I've reviewed it, and let me know your thoughts. Like, do you agree with what I said? Do you see an overall story in the album? Did I get what the tracks mean wrong? And that's very possible because there's no lyrics listed anywhere, so I just kind of had to listen to it a bunch of times and kind of decipher it for myself. So let me know what your thoughts are. Feel free to reach out on Instagram. That's Record of the Year Podcast. Year, that is year without the Y, on Instagram. So go ahead and add me on there, and you can either comment on the post of the album that week and let me know your thoughts or opinions, or you can reach out via Messenger. Just go ahead and DM me your thoughts. Also, feel free to reach out and let me know what albums in the future, past May, you want me to do. Obviously, right now, for the month of May, I'm going to continue the series of local Kentucky artists. And I'm going to try and do artists that don't have, like, a ton of fame. Like, I'm not going to do Loretta Lynn. I'm not going to do even Tyler Childers. Like, maybe a couple of years ago I would have, but I think he's a little too big. I mean, he was nominated for a Grammy. He's made the circuit. He's fine. Like, he doesn't need the uplifting. Not that these people do either. I'd rather give the attention to some local artists, which are Beth Burden, and she definitely deserves it. So go ahead and check out her album. Buy it on her website, bethburden.com, or something like that. Actually, let me check that real quick. Yeah, bethburden.com, Burden. She's fantastic. She's a lovely woman. She's great. I love her. So kudos to you, Beth. Also, go ahead and I'm going to remind you guys to leave me a 5-star review on Apple iTunes. It really helps me out. And if this is not even the first podcast you're listening to, if you've listened to at least 4 podcasts or podcast episodes of mine, you should really leave me a review. Like, I think you owe it to me for putting out this content for free. I mean, come on. You can leave a review. It takes like 10 seconds. Just add it. You don't even have to leave an interesting comment. Just be like, thanks, 5 stars. And that'd be great. I'd really appreciate if you could do that. So anyways, next week is, again, another Kentucky artist coming up. So I hope you guys like this. If not, it'll be over within the month. So it doesn't matter. Until next week, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.